Welcome back to the interview area. We are joined by our defending champion, Wyndham Clark. Wyndham, I know you were here about a month ago, and then you played a few holes today. What's the biggest difference you're seeing in the golf course?
Well, in a month, the course has changed quite a bit. The greens are extremely fast and penal. And, you hit it on the green and the hole's not done. I mean, I was just amazed how fast the greens are. But the course is in great shape. It was very fun and delightful to be out there on the back nine today.
Obviously a big week for you, first time defending a major championship. What's your mindset?
I haven't been playing my best golf, and it's been kind of a tough stretch these last few weeks. And so really I'm just trying to gain some momentum this week for the rest of the season. I know that maybe sounds like low expectations for the week, but honestly, I'd love to just gain some momentum, and I'd really like to see hit some good shots, get some, have some really good up and downs, make some key putts throughout the week, and play 4 solid rounds. So, I'd love to that's really what I'd love to do.
We're going to hear on the right to Brentley.
What's kept you from playing your best golf these last few weeks, and I guess what level of frustration have you reached kind of in the lead up to this?
I mean, it's been a little, I honestly don't know. I mean, you look at the stats and things look bad, but yet in practice it's good. And so it's been really puzzling to me because I'll hit great shots, or I'll play 13 really good holes, but I'm not getting much out of them. And then I have kind of 4 or 5 not so good holes, and I end up shooting 1 or 2 over, and I do that 2 rounds and you miss a cut. So that's been really frustrating, and yeah, my frustration level is definitely higher than it's been in a long time. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but it's the great thing about golf is there's always another week, and I gotta believe that good golf is around the corner, and I'm hitting a lot of good shots in practice. So I gotta be able to take it to the course, and I'm hoping it's this week and it starts a good run of playing good golf the rest of the year.
Here on the left, Gary.
Yeah, Wyndham, expectations. Do you think that word is an overrated talking point for people who cover the game? Because we don't know what your expectations are. We don't know what they were a year ago. Is it a fair talking point for somebody who's in a different place now than you were a year ago?
I mean, I would just say my expectations are probably higher than anyone else has for me in this room. So I have to work on my expectations and, more of just not putting so much pressure on myself. It is tough. I mean, it's obviously challenging being one of the top players, and especially doing it as quickly as I did. There's ebbs and flows in the game of golf, and guys like Scotty right now are making it look really easy, but there's a lot of other guys that struggle a lot of the weeks of the year and play good maybe just a few events. So it's definitely a challenge, and it's obviously frustrating for me that I'm not as consistent right now. And I mean, I've been kind of bummed as of late just with my game, but I'm always reminded when I get on these practice tees and I play practice rounds and I hit good shots and I'm still doing a lot of good things in practice. Makes me feel like I'm not far. It's just bringing it to competition.
Stay here on the left.
Hi, thank you. Danny Funt with the Washington Post. There's been a lot of talk these past few weeks about the pressures of life on tour and the toll it can take from a mental health perspective. I was just hoping for your thoughts on how difficult it can be to adjust to those pressures, and whether you think there's enough resources for players who are dealing with or struggling with that, for whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you're alluding to some recent events. That's obviously a very sad and tragic situation that happened, and the unfortunate thing for what we do is it's so lonely and it's very difficult, and too often I think players, including myself, get tied up so much in score and outcome, and the game of golf is so frustrating and so hard, and there are those really lonely times when you miss a cut and you throw your clubs in the car and you drive off and you're very pissed off. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously on TV, they typically show the guys playing great and the game seems awesome, but in reality, I'd say 80% of the field storms off pretty pissed off after a lot of the rounds. So that's just the nature of our game, and that's why it is such a mental game. And as I've played it more and more, I've learned that, there's so many different skill levels out here, and the difference between, I think, the guys that really make it and enjoy the game and have a long career, they just are better mentally than everyone. And then as far as, the amount of help and stuff that guys have out here, I mean, we have unlimited resources, to be honest. I just think it's more of maybe the caddies and the players maybe checking in on each player and being like, hey, man, how you doing? Not just how you playing golf, like how you doing handling that stuff. That's maybe more on the players to take initiative to do that. Because it is, like I said, it's lonely. And I've been in many low spots where, you have some negative thoughts, which are, you don't ever want to have. But that's golf. Golf can do that to you, and you got to do your best to not let it do that.
We're going to stay on the left, Maddie.
Yeah, hi, Wyndham. Everyone's talking about the greens, them being very fast, very challenging. Is there anything that you are focusing on in particular, or a drill that you like to use to get used to the speed and the undulation of the green?
Yeah, I mean, they are extremely fast. If they get any firmer and faster, the greens they would be borderline, and they already are borderline. So, but yeah, as far as practicing, I mean, the biggest thing is where you leave yourself on the greens. And so, today I went with my caddy, and we just were really charting to certain pins, like we'd rather be here than there. And sometimes that almost could mean, not that you're ever trying to miss a green, but you're airing towards the easier up and down. And then, I mean, you got to play a lot of break on these greens. And so when we're hitting lag putts and even short putts, you'll have a 10-footer downhill, down grain, and normally you're not more than 4 or 5 inches outside the cup on most greens, and here you're maybe playing 10 to 12 inches just so that you're not getting below the hole and haven't run away. So it's really a lot of practice, and that's going to be what we're going to focus on a lot. We did today and these next few days to get ready.
Yeah, and you mentioned the grain. How much do you think the grain will impact some of these putts for you? Is there like a percentage that you like to play to? Or I heard them talk about how much they were cutting the grain, so it kind of took some of that grain out of it.
Yeah, I mean, the grain, I don't know if it affects maybe the break of the putts as much on these greens, because they are cut so tight that the grain's not grabbing it. It's more the speed. So when it looks really shiny and it's down grain, let's say the greens are 13 right now. I think down grain they're 15 or 16. They're like significantly faster. And then into the grain, it's not affecting it that much. So it goes from a 13 on the stimp to maybe only a 12 in my mind. So every putt is fast. And I've found myself hitting uphill putts 6 feet by, and then hitting downhill putts 6, 7 feet by. So, and it was a common theme in our group. I mean, multiple guys putted off the green, multiple guys hit putts. They're like, oh my gosh. So it's definitely the defense right now is the greens.
Back to Brentley on the right.
During these past few weeks, is there anything that you've done to kind of unplug to get away? I mean, I know you like to fish and things like that. Have you had any of that time to kind of reset and get away from golf for a little bit?
Yeah, I didn't touch the clubs for right before Memorial. I took 1 week where I didn't touch the clubs and then practiced all the next week. But no, I unfortunately haven't fished. After Travelers, I'm doing 2 or 3 fishing days, and so I'm really hoping that is a great release and escape from golf.
Where at?
Most likely Colorado. I'll go home.
And then secondly, last year you talked about kind of your goal, like the goal Julie had for you. Like I guess it was like 3 things, like have fun or something like that. What's your goal, or what's the motto this week?
We haven't gotten there. We're meeting probably today to work on those. So maybe I'll let you know when we have those.
Perfect.
Anything else from Wyndham? Thank you, Wyndham. Best of luck
Yeah.
this week.
Thanks, guys.